What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Trey, and I'm back with some more game for y'all today. 5 black heroes who changed my life. Number 1, Malcolm X. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That is the quote that reminds me of Malcolm X the most, the thing that stood out to me the most. And the thing about Malcolm X is history of him hasn't really been taught in very many schools. I certainly didn't know about Malcolm X from learning about him in school. I had to learn from other places because many people consider him to be someone who preached violence, but that wasn't the case. Malcolm X never preached violence. He preached self-defense. He preached pride in yourself, and he preached fighting and standing up for what you believe in. What made Malcolm X perfect is his imperfections. He started off from a troubled past. He was a criminal. And he showed me that no matter how you start, it's about how you finish. From Detroit Red to one of the most prolific Muslim leaders in history, he proved that your past doesn't have to dictate your future. Number 2, J. Cole. J. Cole was the first conscious rapper that I discovered. J. Cole changed my life because when listening to music, I always thought that a lot of music didn't have a meaning to it. It was just random crap you listen to when you're partying at the clubs and stuff like that. And there was not really many lessons to take from it until I discovered J. Cole. And J. Cole really spoke to me because the things that he spoke about was things that I was going through in my life. He always spoke about feeling out of place while being in college and being at a level and in a platform that nobody before you has ever been and never really prepared you for. And coming home and knowing what you know and having the consciousness that you do, and it's not really very many people for you to share that with back home. J. Cole's music really opened my eyes to the world around me, and in a way that other music didn't, because the other music was something to distract me from those things, and he made me see past all of the distractions and really realize what's important to me. J. Cole spread his message through his music, regardless of how people resonated with it, regardless of how the media decided to go about displaying it, and whether or not a lot of his music actually made it to being mainstream because of the things that he spoke about. For J. Cole, it wasn't just about selling albums and making money. For him, it was about expressing himself on a platform and being able to relate to other people. Number 3, Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle is one of my favorite artists of all time, and not really even particularly because of his music. It was because of what he stood for, because of what he did. Nipsey Hussle proved that it didn't matter where you come from, you can do anything. At an early age, he had goals. He wrote down his goals. He seen what he wanted to do. He seen what it would have to take to get there. He seen his current circumstances surrounding him, and he basically said he's not going to stop working until he gets there. And even after he did, he never stopped working. And then when he did make it, and he got to the point where he didn't need these things to define him anymore, he stopped being out in the streets, he stopped gang banging, he found a better way, and he put his community on. He was creating businesses for people to work. He was creating platforms which had the resources for young people in his community to also find their path in life. And he was even ending a lot of the street violence that was going on in his own communities. As a visionary, as a philanthropist, as an icon, Nipsey Hussle left a lasting legacy that black men and women and boys and girls can all look up to and see for hope. Number 4, Chadwick Boseman. I consider Chadwick Boseman to be a hero and someone who changed my life, because representation matters. My first exposure to Jackie Robinson was in a film called 42, which he took on the role of one of the greatest black athletes and one of the greatest black representations and heroes, who was the man known as Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was the man who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. So for him to take on that role so tastefully and exhibit so many characteristics and show really brought us to life for people who are young like me and wasn't around back then, what Jackie Robinson meant to the black community, what he did, the sacrifices he had to make, what he had to mentally and physically bear upon him. And he brought that to life so elegantly. And then to turn around and bring to life the character of T'Challa, King T'Challa, and become the Black Panther. And for me to see that with my eyes, and seeing that film in 2018, February 2018, I'll never forget the pride that I felt leaving that movie theater with, and how I felt proud to be a black man because of what I seen in that movie. Being raised in a time that we didn't really see a lot of black heroes that wasn't dribbling a ball or with a microphone in his hand. I got to see us, somebody who looks like me, as a king, as a leader, as a representation of excellence. And the thing that inspires me the most is that he did all of this while fighting a sickness that had to be devastating on him. He was going through colon cancer and fighting for his life every single day, and people didn't even know it. He cared about with a smile so bright that nobody would know that anything's going on with him. And he did all this because he felt a sense of pride. He felt a sense of responsibility to be the Black Panther and to bring that to life for us, for the culture. And he did it all with a smile. He never complained. He never spoke about his illness because he didn't want that to bring anybody down or to stop anything. He just wanted to keep on doing as much as he could while he could. Number 5, the 5th black hero that changed my life is my grandfather, Ernest Maddox. My grandfather, he's currently 96 years old, and growing up in a time that segregation was taking place. He grew up in the segregated South and dealt with a lot of things that I know for a fact I couldn't survive. I don't think I would make it during that time. He had to deal with racism from white people. He had to deal with prejudice from black people because he was a light-skinned man. And then when he finally got to a point where he was getting ready to go to college and thinking about his life and everything that he wanted to do, he actually ended up getting drafted for World War II at 18, heading into his senior year of high school. My grandfather had to actually drop out of high school his senior year to fulfill his commitment to the military, and had to go and fight in World War II and come back after sacrificing what he had to sacrifice to a country who obviously and honestly still didn't love him. And after making it back from the war, still having to see the prejudice, the racism, and the violence that was inflicted onto black people, he scraped and clawed and found a way to move him and his family out of the South. From there, he spent over 30 years working for General Motors, and it was actually the first black man to work in the science division at GM and worked there for over 35 years and retire. My grandfather may not be a famous musician or an athlete or a politician, but he's made a lot of change within his community, within his family, and within my life. And even though he gave life to me, he gave me hope, he gave me lots of life lessons and lots of great memories. The greatest gift that my grandfather gave to me is a legacy that he's going to leave behind to me one day to fulfill. And when I speak about my grandfather, I speak about him with a lot of love, with a lot of joy, with a lot of passion, and honestly, with a lot of pride. Because when I got old enough to understand the things that he did and why he did them, it gave me a sense of pride for my last name, Maddox. It gave me a sense of pride for who I am as a man and how I carry myself, and for being a man of my word. And it gives me pride every single day to try to live in my purpose of inspiring the world. And to doing that, and in doing that, I can carry the legacy that my grandfather created. Alright, that's it for today's video. Hope you liked the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, remember, always get 1% better every single day. Peace.